Could your $6,000 loan cost you $20,000?
It's turning on.
Shocking interest rates.
46.93.
46.93.
39.99.
It's almost a license to print money for them.
They want to keep collecting money.
What's really behind the sales pitch?
Very shady.
I was really disappointed.
Putting lenders to the test.
It's an abuse of our most vulnerable.
Canadians need protection.
This is your marketplace.
This is the front of the house, and this all had to be torn off. The cement was also rotten.
In Barhead, Alberta, Teresa Morton's giving us a tour of her 100-year-old home.
So this whole back of the house to here all had to come off. And we had already put the new kitchen in, the cabinets, the flooring. So we just had to rip it all out.
She can laugh now, but it's been a painful reno for Teresa and her husband.
Is it fair to call the backyard of your house a money pit?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. So where those windows are up there, that is the end of the original house. And all we wanted to do was put this on. That was it.
The $68,000 reno quote balloons into a $175,000 job, way more than they borrowed from the bank. And the nightmare gets worse. Her husband loses his well-paying oil and gas gig. The bank won't lend more money, and they can't cash out their investments.
So we didn't know what we were going to do.
Then help arrives in the mail.
This card came and it said, "You've been pre-approved for $20,000. So we just looked at each other and we were in the car. The next day we were in there.
The offer is from a lender called Fairstone Financial, but it comes at a huge cost.
The interest that they charged us was 27.99%.
That's more than $17,000 in interest over 5 years on top of the $20,000.
When you hear an interest rate like that, did your heart skip a beat?
Absolutely. If we had not been so desperate, there is no way we would have signed on a dotted line.
Now we're heading into the world of high-interest lending.
Do you want me to turn it on?
Going undercover with our marketplace tester, Mena.
We're ready?
Okay.
She's checking out 4 lenders that offer big cash across the country. And these aren't payday loans. Cash money up to $10,000.
Would like to know if you've been approved on.
Money Mart up to $15,000.
How much you can borrow, how much the different interest rates are.
Fairstone Financial, where the offer is up to $35,000.
We're not a bank, okay, or a high-risk lender.
And at Easyfinancial, up to $45,000.
We need to select any date that we can take out the payment.
And how much average are you looking for?
Our tester wants to know the real cost of borrowing $6,000
Yeah, I'm looking at around $6,000.
and paying it back every 2 weeks over 3 years.
How does the process work?
Watching on in Toronto is moneyman Alex Hadataji. He's built 3 mortgage companies from the ground up, and he's lent a lot of people a lot of cash.
My companies have served over 200,000 Canadians
You deal with this every day.
every day,
Okay,
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
So he knows interest rates, and that's where we start.
So what's the interest?
3.94. Sorry, 3.94 a year? 3.94% a year?
No, like monthly.
If you calculate by monthly, then it would be 1.6 to 3.9.
Doesn't sound too brutal, but Alex sees it otherwise.
In my opinion, they're all misleading numbers. And, they want to make the clients believe that, hey, it's not as bad as you think.
Actually, it's worse.
So it's 3.9% monthly, but yearly is 46.93.
Most of our customers do get, unfortunately, 46.9.
The interest rate would be about 39.99, okay?
Is it really okay? That's double what most credit cards charge.
How would you characterize those type of rates?
In my opinion, those are predatory lending. And in my opinion, it should never be allowed in this country.
Yet sky-high rates up to 60% a year are legal in Canada. And it would help if this Money Mart sales rep knew how to explain them.
46%?
Yeah. That's in the full loan.
So 46.9%
It's the full term.
full time. So 3 years would cost 46 or each year?
46 for the full 3 years.
Okay, so not each year.
No, that would be killer.
Uneducated, untrained sales professional that either doesn't know what it's talking about or misleading the client completely.
When I hear that, I hear that she is expected to pay 46.9% over 3 years.
Absolutely.
Is that how interest works?
I know it doesn't. It's an annual interest rate that you charge. If it's 46%, every year you charge them 46%.
At that rate, on a $6,000 loan, Money Mart would make more than $5,000 in interest. In total, Mena would have to pay back more than $11,000.
If you qualify for the maximum interest rate.
Same thing at Easy Financial.
Is around 5,215.98 interest.
Exorbitant, outrageous. It's okay to make money, obviously, but doesn't mean you have to, slaughter your clients and your fellow citizens.
Now, to be fair, Alex, the companies will say they've got to charge these sky-high rates because these are risky loans to begin with. How does that sit with you?
I think these lenders do provide a service. However, you still could be extremely profitable by charging interest rates of 20, 25, or even 30%.
Take Easy Financial, for example. We find out it borrows at 5%, lends out at more than 40% on average, and pockets the difference.
They know when you're coming in there that you're there because you cannot go to a traditional lender. So I think that it's almost a license to print money for them.
The company Teresa used, Fairstone Financial, says it charges its clients high interest rates because they're risky and they may default on their loans. Easy Financial tells us it offers Canadians with bad credit find affordable solutions. Cash Money tells us it proudly offers credit to underbanked Canadians. And Money Mart, well, this company tells us that employee, they weren't trying to mislead our tester, but they do admit that interest explanation could have been handled better. None of these companies would discuss their business with us on camera.
Back on hidden camera,
If you want to pay more, you can come into the store and pay more.
we're told not to worry about interest because we can pay down our loan faster.
The loan is completely open. You can pay it off at any time.
Even pay it off early.
Anytime.
Anytime, without paying additional interest or anything like that.
If you want a loan for 2-3 months, then pay me out in full, that's fine. Because you don't get penalized for it.
Most of people take loan like $10,000, and after 2-3 months they pay it off.
How realistic is it for someone to pay off a $10,000 loan in 2 or 3 months?
It is not. Usually the people who borrow this money, either new immigrants or students or young people or people who have an emergency, and they don't make that type of money, makes it almost impossible.
A few blocks away,
It was sad and funny at the same time.
artist Marty Smith couldn't pay off his Money Mart loan early and says when he went to the store to close the $1,000 loan, they wouldn't let him.
You wanted to pay cash.
Yeah.
You want to finish it off, seal the deal, close it off.
Final payment. All done. Then I couldn't do that. You're dealing with a person on the other side of a glass wall, and she won't take my payment.
He says they wouldn't tell him how much he owed and said the payment had to come from his bank.
I would have made a $70 payment. I would have gone in and made the $113 payment if the woman behind the glass would take it and say it was a final payment.
But they wouldn't take your cash.
As far as I could tell, you can't close the loan. And they don't want you to make a final payment because they want to keep collecting money from you.
So then this is the front door.
Seems that's what happens to Teresa, too. When her bank offers money at a lower rate, she tries to settle up with Fairstone.
Yep, they said there's no penalty for early payment. So we got the exact amount that they told us. We gave them the date we were coming in with the money.
But after she and her husband pay by bank draft, they're charged another $180 in interest. And it isn't over yet.
I went back over all my transactions and I went, oh, look, they took another payment after we paid them already.
More than $600 is taken from her bank account.
They were unapologetic and just said, well, we'll get a hold of head office and ask them to give it back to you. And I said, well, then please stop taking it out. Like, don't take any more.
A month later, Fairstone pays Teresa back, saying it took that extra payment because it couldn't cancel the automatic withdrawal in time. As for that $180 charge, no explanation and no refund for Teresa.
It's very unfortunate. What they've done is really wrong, immoral, irresponsible, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
You just feel rushed into signing them. Said that it was going to cost an extra $10 to $15 a month.
But not when we do the math.
I didn't know that.
Got a story you think Marketplace should investigate next? Tell us about it on email, Twitter, or Facebook. This is your Marketplace. In Chatham, Ontario, Karen Fournilier's been off work since mid-March, thanks to the COVID pandemic.
Tell you like your sister.
With 4 kids, no school, and no childcare, she's had to stay home while her husband keeps working. And she's had to battle over her $5,000 high-interest loan.
So these are the 2 letters that I got from the insurance. We are writing a response to you involuntary unemployment claim.
Way back before the pandemic, Karen borrowed from Fairstone and got talked into buying loan protection, disability, and life insurance.
I actually asked them a couple times, like, is this for real? Like, is it, like, if I do lose my job, is it going to be, like, no hassle or, you know, like, will I have to, like, do anything? No, it's gonna be, like, a quick, you know, just let us know your situation, and then you have to kind of maybe show proof that you're not working.
Because of the pandemic, many people take that insurance.
On hidden camera.
So let's say if anything would happen at work, or you get injured, you get sick or lay off, the protection plan does cover some of the payment.
Our tester hears a lot about insurance.
We do offer loan protection, we do offer life, disability, and unemployment.
We're going to have a loan protection plan.
What's in it, Alex, for the companies to sell these insurance plans to consumers?
Money. They get very generous referral fees most times. If, you know, they're charging you $100 per month for the next 3 years, I would say a good chunk of that's actually coming in as a kickback.
At Fairstone, seems insurance just gets rolled into the payment quote.
It's an additional cost, right? This insurance?
It is part of the $68.75 that I gave.
So it's already included?
Is almost made it sound like it's mandatory. You should take it, and there's no reason for you not to take it.
Like it's a package.
Yeah, and most customers, they're like, fear factor has been used on them. You could lose your job. You should better take this thing.
When COVID hits, Karen says she has to stop working to stay home with the kids, and she stops paying for her loan, counting on insurance to kick in. But
your claim does not qualify for involuntary unemployment benefits.
The insurance won't cover her loan.
I was really disappointed because clearly I'm not working, and I had given them evidence and records showing that I wasn't working, and even my last pay stub.
Disappointing because insurance, it ain't cheap, despite what Karen says she was told.
He said that it was going to cost an extra $10 to $15 a month.
It's actually $115 per month.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Over 5 years, she'd pay nearly $7,000 on insurance. Because guess what? Fairstone charges interest on that, too. It's not clearly spelled out in the documents she had to sign on the spot.
You just feel rushed into signing them and not able to read them. You basically blink and they're gone.
When we tell Fairstone about Karen, they say they tried to help her with her claim. They also say that staff walked her through the optional insurance when she bought it and that they never promised she would qualify.
Our tester wants to see a contract
Actually, just one last thing.
before signing anything.
Do you have like any copy that I could look at?
No.
No?
Like, that's all posted to our computer.
It happens everywhere.
If you can show me the contract from now or like a template of what it...
Like, I cannot give you someone else's contract, right?
Do you have like a copy that I could take a look at? No? Okay, so I apply and I sign the form and the contract, and then like when will I find out about the details though?
Right away.
Right, okay.
After you sign on the dotted line,
Wow.
Once you sign on the dotted line,
They'll give you a contract that they don't want consumers to look at it a day or 2 days ahead of time, because they would, once they get it, they know there's a good chance that customer is not going to sign that contract.
you can get the money lickety-split, no problem, but to see things in writing, that's not possible.
Is very non-transparent and very shady. Is, in my opinion, extremely wrong and bad way to do business, and it's almost like a loan sharking.
At Fairstone, our tester can't even get a printout of loan quotes.
No?
Sorry. Can you write it down so she has some idea?
Yeah, at least. Just so that I...
for a loan or something else? No, we just need the numbers.
It's my first time trying a loan, so I don't know.
So it's based on $6,000, $39.99 interest rate,
Yeah.
$68.75 with the insurances.
Wow. A sticky pad?
So no contract until after you sign on the dotted line, but we did get this very official-looking yellow sticky.
I actually blame our government for this. This is beyond crazy or negligent.
What's the real cost of that $6,000 loan? We do the math.
Do you have to pay extra for that?
And who will stand up for Canadians?
Make all these institutions accountable.
Fighting for answers on your marketplace. Get more Marketplace. Sign up for our weekly newsletter at cbc.ca/marketplace. This is your marketplace. We're visiting high-interest lenders
If she wanted to borrow, let's say about $6,000,
to figure out the real cost of doing business with them.
pay back over 3 years, every 2 weeks.
Cash Money gives us a payment estimate, but the numbers seem fishy to our expert.
Sorry, just 1 second.
Some expert math, then Alex Hadataji drops a bombshell.
So that's gonna take you approximately 9 years to pay that money off, and around $20,000.
We get another opinion that confirms it'd take a long time to pay off this debt.
When you ask for 3 years, you asking, hey, if I make those payments you're telling me, I will be free and clear after 3 years. And that's not the numbers, and that's not accurate on what they represented.
Cash Money won't comment about it taking 9 years to pay off that $6,000 loan. But the company does say it's very clear about how its minimum payments work and that its customers often pay back their loans early. What do you think, Alex, of all the hidden camera footage that we just showed you?
It's tough. Canadians need protections from all across the country, and it should be regulated federally.
So we want to talk to Chrystia Freeland on camera.
The coronavirus is still with us.
As Minister of Finance, she could push to lower that 60% rate and regulate the industry.
The economic challenge created by the coronavirus is hitting women particularly hard.
Her office says she's busy. But in Edmundston, New Brunswick, Senator Pirette-Ringette wants to talk.
It's an abuse of our most vulnerable. Like, nobody's acting on behalf of Canadians in order to make all these institutions accountable.
I'm advocating that the criminal interest rate
For years, she's been a lone voice in Parliament.
Would be capped at 20% plus the Bank of Canada overnight rate.
Fighting to bring down the legal interest rate.
So would it be fair to say this has been like pushing a rock up a hill or what?
I would say more an elephant up the hill.
An elephant up the hill. Okay.
She's not pleased by the hidden camera.
It's an abusive process that needs to be curtailed. It needs to be curtailed.
That cash money payment plan shocks her.
It's going to take you approximately 9 years to pay that money off.
Well, 9 years and $20,000. I hope all my parliamentary colleagues are listening to this, because I'm going to need their support in order to lower that criminal interest rate, create greater transparencies in those institutions.
Do you have enough fight left in you to fight this fight?
I was very tired of fighting that fight, but what you've just shown me brings back the fighter in me.
The senator says the government must act now during this pandemic winter.
We haven't seen the dire financial situation that Canadians will be facing come the springtime. I believe that we're going to have a lot of horror stories, and Canadians deserve better.
Got a story you think Marketplace should investigate next? Tell us about it on email, Twitter, or Facebook.
Struggling with your mental health during the pandemic? Having trouble finding the help you need online? Ever tried an app? Well, tell us about it. Marketplace at CBC.ca.
What's lurking in your air?
We could see what was in this air at a microscopic level. It's a chemical soup.
Surprising.
It's scary. Air purifiers put to the test.
Airflow and efficiency, they're important.
Are you ready to find out the result?
I would have expected a little bit better for the money.
That's really disappointing.
And home hacks you can't afford to miss.
And that's all you need to make an airplane.
Breathe clean. Next week on your Marketplace.